So, you've been watching those crime shows, right? And you're wondering, what's it really like to be a crime scene investigator? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to pull back that yellow tape and show you the real path to this incredibly demanding and fascinating career.
But first, let's get one thing straight. I mean, is it really all about dramatic confessions and high-speed chases? Let's be real. The job you see on TV, well, it's mostly fiction, isn't it? So let's see how that perception stacks up against the day-to-day reality. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to cover what the job's actually about, the path to get there, the skills you absolutely need, that tough hiring process, and finally, how you level up in your career. Let's do it.
All right, first things first. Let's look beyond the so-called glamour and dive into the day-to-day reality of a CSI.
You know how it is on TV, right? High-tech labs, results in minutes, nonstop action. The reality? Not so much. It's way more methodical. The job is really built on a foundation of extensive report writing, documenting every single thing, and then the high-pressure job of testifying about it all in court. It's way less about drama and all about diligence.
So, what does that methodical work actually look like? Well, it's super hands-on. CSIs are in charge of the whole life of a piece of evidence, from taking photos and sketching the scene to lifting those invisible fingerprints. They even go to autopsies to collect trace evidence. And all of that meticulous work, it all gets packed into those incredibly detailed reports we were just talking about.
Yeah, and don't picture some comfy, climate-controlled office. The real job descriptions lay it all out. You're dealing with tough stuff. We're talking exposure to bodily fluids, working outside in horrible weather, and your hours, forget 9 to 5. You're on call nights, weekends, and holidays. This job is demanding both physically and mentally, for sure.
So you're not scared off yet? Good. Let's talk about how you actually get qualified to do this kind of work. What's the path to the scene?
Okay, so the first thing you absolutely need to know is there's no one-size-fits-all path here. Your journey really depends on what kind of role you're aiming for. You could start out as a civilian trainee right in the field, or maybe you're aiming for a super specialized scientist role back in the lab.
Just look at these two job postings, for example. On one side, you've got an entry-level CSI trainee. For that, you might just need an associate's degree, maybe even a high school diploma with some experience. But then, on the other side, a forensic DNA specialist? Whoa! That requires a full bachelor's in a hard science, plus 5 years of hands-on experience. The difference is just huge.
And that right there highlights what a lot of people call the science gap. See, a criminal justice degree is great for context, but the real hurdle for a lot of folks is the hard science. For so many of these jobs, especially the lab ones, having a degree in biology or chemistry isn't just a nice to have, it's a must.
Okay, so you've got the degree, but do you have the skills? Let's open up the investigator's toolkit and see what's inside.
When you think about the skills a CSI needs, it really breaks down into two camps. You've got your hard skills, the technical stuff you learn, like how to take perfect evidence photos, how to develop fingerprints with powders and chemicals, and all the right procedures to collect and preserve evidence. But then, and this is just as important, you have the soft skills. We're talking about a crazy, meticulous attention to detail, the ability to think critically when the pressure is on, and just serious emotional resilience.
And believe me, that emotional resilience, it is absolutely non-negotiable. As a CSI, you are going to be in some incredibly draining and difficult scenes. You have to have a strong stomach, you have to be able to handle gruesome events, terrible smells, and still stay focused on the job. It takes a tough person, mentally and physically.
All right, you've got the education, you've got the skills. Now comes what might be the toughest part, actually getting hired. Welcome to the hiring gauntlet.
This process is long and intense, and for good reason. First, you've got to meet the basic qualifications. Then come the written exams and probably several rounds of oral interviews. Make it past that and get ready for a deep, deep background check. I'm talking polygraphs, psychological evaluations. They look into everything. And even if you get the job offer, you're not done. You still have a ton of on-the-job field training to complete.
So, after jumping through all those hoops, what's the paycheck look like? Well, to give you a real-world number, that starting CSI trainee job in Tampa, Florida, the salary range is somewhere between $55,000 and $84,000 a year. Of course, that's going to change a lot depending on where you are, the agency, and your experience level. Okay, you're in. You got the job. Now what? How do you move up? Well, that's where you start earning your stripes with professional certifications.
The big name you need to know here is the IAI. the International Association for Identification. It's the oldest and biggest forensic association in the world. And what's so important about them? Well, they set the professional standards for the whole field, and they run the formal certification program that's basically the gold standard for CSIs.
The IAI really maps out a clear career path for you. You can start out as a certified investigator after your first year and 48 hours of training. From there, you can move up to analyst after 3 years, and then the top tier is senior analyst. But to get there, you'll need a solid 6 years of experience and a whopping 144 hours of advanced training.
And yeah, that number, 144 hours, that really tells you something, doesn't it? It shows the serious commitment to continuous learning it takes to reach the top of your game as a certified senior crime scene analyst. It's a true mark of expertise.
So there you have it. We've looked at the reality of the job, the education you'll need, the skills, that tough hiring process, and how you can climb the ladder. The only question left is for you. Now that you've seen the real path, do you have that precision, that patience, and that resilience to follow the evidence no matter where it leads?